One. Well, welcome back, everybody, to Relentless Talk Radio. This is episode 55, and I am talking with Bassim. Bassim, is your last name Al Shaker?
Well, this is my art name,
Okay,
but they used to be is like my last name is Damadawi,
yeah.
but no one knows that. But when I become a citizen, I am a citizen now.
Uh-huh.
I change my last name to my art name, so people will know.
Am I saying it right, Al Shaker?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, I guessed. All right. So I'm going to take a second here and do our sponsorship shout out. Okay. Both back on the screen. Awesome. I can't wait till I have like a studio person to do all of that for me. But it's amazing we get to do it. We can do it using a little app called BeLive. So tell everybody who you are and what you do.
I am Bassim.
Yeah.
Bassim Al Shaker. I am a painter. They say I am a painter. I don't know if I'm a painter or not yet.
I'm
And
pretty certain that you're a painter.
thank you. Thanks. I am from Middle East. I'm from Iraq. And I study is a special high school and college just for painting and drawing. And high school 5 years just painting and drawing. College 4 years just painting and drawing. And then I accepted to let's not talk about that yet.
We'll get there, right?
We'll get there, yes.
So you and I are both painters, but I really consider you a painter. I dabble in painting. You're really amazing. I mean, I really have a tremendous respect for you. You're also highly respected in the Phoenix arts community. I've not met one person who has one cross thing to say about you. I mean, in fact, when I mention your name, not only do they gush about what an amazing painter you are, but they also gush about what an amazing human being you are.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And I just love that about you. I could see that when you and I both used to live at the Greenleaf, and there once was a gallery at the Greenleaf that you were the manager of. And you and I met at the gallery one day for a talk, and I thought, wow, how extraordinary. I get to live next to this guy. How cool is that?
Thank you.
Well, we both of us surely made a decision to leave that space and move on. But I'm so grateful I had a chance to have that conversation with you and see your work and just hear a little bit more about who you are. So tell us about your painting. What is it that you paint?
Usually when I paint, I start to paint like I learn many different styles, and I focus about the.
I'll find out.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I start to focus about the academic style, and this is like how in Iraq and Middle East or in Europe, we are focusing so much about the academic style, and after that, I just I start to paint with something. There is no I start to there is no painting without any history behind it, without any story behind it. I don't like to paint now 100% without any history, or any story behind the painting. It's the same for me. How you go to watch a movie, and the movie there is no story behind it.
You can feel it.
You can feel it. So it's exactly the same thing, and maybe many artists they disagree with me because there is a action and there is feeling you feel in the moment, you will paint it. I agree with them with that things, but at the same time, for me, painting, if it's not make a problem, this is not a painting. If it's the painting not stop you and make questions, make you thinking, make you like many different things, and make a problem exactly like when I'm talking about the problem is a problem. Hmm?
It makes you go,
Yes,
what's happening there?
yes, and like for example, I don't know if we jumps to that or no. For example, one of the things now, I paint a painting. It's called it halal. You know what halal?
No.
Halal is the Islamic and Jewish things.
Hmm?
So how they eat the meat, but before
No, I'm doing
sorry,
the same thing. It's okay.
before they eat the meat, they kill the animal in a certain way. Okay, so if they will not kill it in a certain way, in that way, I mean,
Mhm.
they are not allowed to eat it. So I paint a painting is a person in the table, okay, is a person in the table, and people around it, around the table, like a dinner table, and it's they will start to eat it, and and they have a small tag and the person,
Mhm.
and they say halal. So
So these
like
are
I
both things
wish to
that were in
make it.
reference to what you're seeing happening in Iraq and Iran right now. It's actually a very hot topic, Iraq and Iran right now, isn't it? There's
It
some major
is.
things happening in our world right now that are a little crazy. So your paintings are in
It
response
is.
to with the current activity that's happening right now in that area of the country.
Yeah, of course it is. It is what's going on there, and I am doing two new paintings now, but I cannot share it anymore
Yeah.
because if I share it now, like I will have like a very big problem, like a huge problem I
Yeah.
will have.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah,
big
so
topic right now.
yeah, and also I will be very worried about my family in Iraq.
Yeah.
I mean I have my family here, but I mean my uncles, my aunts, all of
Right.
these people, so I can't really share it.
We
But I
really
know if I share it, there will be
granted
a
the
huge
groups that
problem.
we have in this country. We really do because there's other areas in the world where folks are not as lucky as we are to be able to
It
speak
is.
and have opinions. I mean, people here in this country can say whatever they want about Trump either way, and you can
Doesn't matter.
walk around and be fine. But that's not the case in a lot of areas of the world. If you speak out on your true beliefs, you can lose your life and your
Oh,
family
of course.
lives, and for generations, right? It can cause like a major kickback. So it's a brave. Those are brave topics that you're covering in those paintings. I look forward to seeing them when you're able to show them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I will.
So
I will.
why paint? I mean, you could have chosen anything. I mean, because I think that you're a talented, smart guy, so you could have chosen to do anything. Why do you paint? Oh no, are you
It's
frozen?
a good question. There is a
There you go.
no, no. There is one question. Like always, ask me the people like in the media or like when they do interview for me or something. They say if you are not a painter, what you will be? I will be a painter. So painting is just like is in my I don't know how to say it, but I
No,
have a very I have a very I have a very artistic family. So all my uncles there are there are musicians,
mm-hmm.
and one of them he's the most famous uh, drummers in Middle East.
Hmm.
He's the guy. He died last year when you come to my show.
That was what your show was about.
Yes, what this is what my show about. And yeah, so I like, I open my eyes, I see everyone play drums, paint, do all the things. So it's amazing. So I just born with that, and also like when I am like a child, I wish to be like a very famous artist, to be like to meet all the other artists, all these things. So it's very, very like,
It's your
huh?
it's your art is your passion, right?
Yeah, yeah, it is. So I'm really like,
So you
I'm
really,
happy with that.
it's interesting you say that because people ask me, Michelle, how long have you made art? And I'll say, I've always made art.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, since
It's
I
in
made
your blood.
paper, I've always made art.
Yeah,
Well,
it's in
our
your
art,
blood. Yeah.
my art's behind me on the wall too. Your art's behind you. Our art is very different. But and as you're talking, it's actually very similar because my art is all about a story. I illustrate a story, and you are too, but you're using your style and I use my style. And that's what art is. Art to me is communication. So when people say, how long you've been an artist? And I could never be an artist. I say, you already are an artist because you're already telling a story.
Well,
I think that we all have
I
cold. It's
want.
terrible.
I'm sorry, guys.
No,
I'm
it's
so
great.
sorry.
I have it. So did the guest before you. We all have the same dang cough. It's terrible. Awful.
Yeah. So, like, the thing is, like, we are talking about the art. It doesn't matter the style.
Hmm. Oh no, we're breaking up a
It's
little.
like how my style is, how your style is. The important. Are we good now or no?
I think we probably keep
Are
on
we good?
going. Yep.
Awesome, awesome. The important thing is how to send the message to the world. You know.
Right.
And this is the most important thing. And like now styles and techniques and all these things is not that as important, by the way, anymore. Like is already like
Yep.
it's gone. Yes, I like it's good to have the technique, it's good to have the style. I agree 100%, but at the same time, the most important thing is how to send the message.
It's communicating the story. When people
Yeah.
ask me, how I make art is I interview people, and that's why I created Relentless Talk Radio because this conversation to me is the art. It's the art of
Yes,
conversation and communicating. And then
of course.
this year, what I'm doing is I'm taking all the shows from 1 month. So this interview will go into my head and I'll come out
Hmm.
with a summary conversation next month of this and the other interviews that I have this month. And that will inspire a blog about the lessons that I've learned. Because what I'm
Wow.
compelled is like always to look at life as an opportunity to learn. So I'm communicating the lessons I've learned by talking with people, and that will inspire a painting. So my show for the 13 paintings that will be to be created this year will be in February of next year.
Wow.
And it'll
That's
be a
amazing.
compilation of this year I've interviewed 167 people on Relentless Talk Radio.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
Crazy.
Wow.
So I've really been building the platform and getting myself ready to make this series. And so I'm excited to see what happens. People always tell me, Michelle, what do you paint? I say, I don't know. I haven't had the conversation yet. So
It is. It
I
is
really have no
because
idea and you're probably the same way. When you stand in front of a blank canvas, you're like, all right, you and me are going to do this dance thing, and then something's going to happen. And I'm always as surprised as I'm sure you are what happens at the end of it as everybody else is. You know what I mean?
the thing is like for me the painting, if I think about it too much, and if I think like, oh, I will put this color here, I will put this color here, whatever, all these things, the painting will be not as good as if I just sit and I will not put any idea how I will paint and I will start to paint. This is the amazing painting for me start
Yeah.
to be.
It's
you know.
almost like I just, and I'm sure that a lot of writers and painters will say this. When you open yourself to be the conduit of whatever it is that you're communicating, it's almost as if the painting paints itself.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
you're
is.
doing the work,
It
but
is.
it's. Have you ever looked back at a painting that you've done and been like, "Huh, I painted that. That's
I
interesting."
agree 100%.
Really, I mean, I know I
Yep.
did, but I don't really remember how I got that I don't really remember how I got that sword to be that way. I just know that I was in the moment and it came out of me and there it is, right?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
And
I
so how
agree.
could you not, if you have that in you, how could you not do it? I'm always amazed by people who stop making art. You know, I mean, one of my passions is enfolded in everything I do is that, you know, art and business are the same thing.
It
It's all
is.
creative, you know, and
Oh, of course.
I really felt compelled to communicate that, you know, art is a business and business is art. And so I always ask all of the artists that I interview, and some of them, actually, most of the people that I interview kind of are ready for this question. But what have you learned in the business of being an artist? Because you are a businessman, you create a product that is sold, which makes you a business person because there's a financial thing. You're not just painting and like giving it away. Even if you're painting, giving it away. When you are in business, when you're an artist, this is how you make a living. This is how you feed your family. It's how you feed yourself. So what have you learned about being in the business of being an artist? What's the biggest lesson?
The the art business is the most sensitive things I ever have in my life. It's a very sensitive things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like it depends for the world. If the world good, the world happy, there is no any problem in the world, the art business will go higher. If we have so many problems, if we have so many things, if we have so many like whatever things, the like the business of art will go lower. For example, uh, like in here we have a good buyer of art, okay. uh, but if you go, for example, in Dubai, if you go to Qatar, you will see the buyers a lot. You will see many buyers. This is one. Second, you will see people pay like spend so much money about the art, so much money. It is different in the buyers now, for example, in Iraq, the buyers now in Lebanon, in Syria, in where Iran. Okay, all these countries is just like is not as relaxed as the other countries, you know. So it's really it depends for the community you live with. This is one, and second, uh, well, I don't know how to go with that, but I don't want to keep talking about that. But the thing is, again, I need to go back to when I start. Is a very sensitive things to do,
Yeah,
super sensitive,
it's super
you
sensitive.
know.
Like, and the art market's very fickle, right? By the way, our
Yes,
friend Jason Hugger was on a couple weeks ago, and he says hi. He's watching, so he's waving at you from the gallows, right?
hi Jason.
Hey,
Yes, I see that.
so
He's amazing artist and
he's an
amazing person,
amazing.
and also I love him. I love his wife. I love his work. So they are amazing.
And see, that I think is one of the things that you and I both share in as far as like the being an artist part. There's the making the art, but there's also the getting to the relationships between artists. Because our
Yeah,
brains do work differently than some other people's brains do on this level. Because true artists, I think when they're pure artists, they can sit down and have a conversation and our hearts just automatically meet
yeah,
because we're vibrating or we're functioning on a much different level. And
of
so the
course,
friendships that we have between artists are really sacred, I think. And it was
of
part of
course.
when we're learning about art history and modern history and in art school and just being mesmerized by the stories between all the artists, right? There's just
It is.
great stories between the artists themselves, our art, right?
I agree. And I used to have this conversation uh, between the artists when I used to live here. But when I moved to Chicago, I feel like this is I lost this because I don't know yet that many artists.
It
Just
takes
the
time.
this takes time. Just the students in the college, I know, yes, and talking with the teachers, something. But I mean, like artists, normal artists, not students or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
So this is
normal
also one of the
artists
things I'm missing.
run, right? But
Yep,
we're
yep.
by nature not normal. That's what makes us normal, right? So
Oh,
that
it is.
actually leads us to the next thing that we were going to talk about: the difference between, you've been accepted into an amazing master's program, which is a huge accomplishment in Chicago, and you've left this little cocoon that we have here in Phoenix. Phoenix is an amazing time right now to be an artist. I mean, just an amazing time. And as an artist, as a business person, it's just an amazing time with so many of us that are doing just great work, and the energy here. But it's just the time that you get to know people. Now you're in a new place and you got to dig around and find your peeps again, right? But what's the biggest difference between, first of all, how's art school? And secondly, what's the biggest difference between Phoenix and Chicago, you think?
Uh, art school is great, okay, but I am very honest. Like,
I love
I don't like, So the thing is, Chicago Art Institute, Yale, like all these colleges, is the top 10 in the world. You know, Yale is the first one in the world. Chicago Art Institute, the second college in the world. When I get accepted for these both, I choose the Chicago Art Institute. Uh, it's a big deal for me because first I want a degree from United States. I don't have a degree from United States, and second want to see usually the art school in United States, what's going on in it. Anyway, so I see something very interesting, and I see something not interesting. The interesting thing, how these people and these colleges, how they think. They think it's a very modern, very new thinking, very new ideas, new things, and I love that. I really love that. Okay, it's not as like an old art school. They use as the same thing, life model techniques, whatever, all these things we used to have before. Uh, this is with the like with the art, with the things. It's surprising for me, and I really when I applied to these colleges, I thought I will go to like second college in the world,
Right,
like it's something crazy,
right.
yeah. When I went there and I see the love, I thought I will see something wow. I didn't see the wow.
Wow.
Period. Yes. I didn't see the wow, and the thing is, maybe
Wow.
one of the problem I have. I wait a long time to finish my master degree.
Mm-hmm.
So all this time I've been painting, and have like shows in the world and all these things. So I already been having so many things. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe this is one of the problem when I went to the art school, I didn't see something great because I already been to like many different like high level places.
Yeah.
Maybe it's already like this is the art school I see if I went like 10 years ago, you know. So I don't know if I went in art school 10 years ago what's gonna happen or now is the same feeling I have. I don't know.
Do you think you're getting more out of it personally because you are a seasoned artist going into the master's experience as opposed to a 21-year-old who's just starting their career, hasn't even started their career yet? Do you think you're getting more out of it as far as the teaching is concerned, or do you think?
I think I thought I will get more. I get, by the way. I want to be honest because, for example, my advisor, his name is Galen. He's one of the top teachers in the United States.
Right.
He's very, very amazing. Anyway, and he's my advisor. And he choose the student to be their advisors. Usually, the student choose their things. Anyway, but he's the only one choose his students, and he chose me. I am the first year, and he add many things to me. Like he really like add a lot, but it's not as like as much as like they will change my life. You know
Right.
what I mean? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean actually, because I waited to go when I was in art school. If you had told me I would go back and get a master's in administration, I would have told you were on crack. Because
Yeah.
the last thing I wanted to be when I went to art school was a business person. I
Hmm.
wanted to save the planet being a social worker and paint it by night, right? I wasn't interested in being an entrepreneur when I was young cognitively, even though entrepreneurism is in my blood the way art's in my blood, right? I didn't realize that yet at that point. So I went
Hmm.
to grad school after I had a marketing company and I was painting, I had a personal training company and I was designing on Madison Avenue for big companies like Revlon, right? After I'd had an artist career commercially, I decided not
Hmm.
to go to get my master's in fine art. I decided to get my master's in administration. And I thought that when I went, I figured, okay, I'm going to learn like a lot because I went to art school, not business school. So I'm going to get the secret handshake. They're going to give me the keys to the kingdom. There's going to be some kind of like, wow. And I think I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yep.
And I think what happened for me in grad school, because I was with people who were professionals, had done business school, had professional careers, Ben and Jerry's, Green Mountain Coffee Roasters. My program was one of the top 10 programs of its kind in the country. And so I thought I was going to get like just like a bunch of information that I could just be blown over, right? And what I found was it gave me the confidence to sit at the boardroom table knowing that I'm an equal, is what it did. I didn't know that before grad school. And it also made me realize that I thought that I would learn something that would make my brain better. But what I learned was my brain works just fine. And in fact, it actually worked better because I'm a scrapper. So I was a scrapper and a business person and an artist. And that's what led me to
Wow.
the conversation between you and I, is that I
Hmm.
realized in business school that I was just as bright as everybody else was, and that I earned my seat at the table. And I don't know whether it should have cost me the money that it did to learn that. I would have liked to have read the Cliff Note version, quite frankly. But I don't think you can actually learn something like what you're learning right now. There's a lesson in it that you don't even realize yet because you're in it. But on the
Yeah.
other side of it, you're going to look back at your experience and you're going to go, oh, that's what I learned. And it's quite different than what you thought it was going to be, but it's still a huge lesson. So I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're experiencing from the business perspective. And if I
Awesome.
ever do go back and get my master's in fine art, I'll imagine I'll learn a different lesson then too.
Great. So I am happy you really like know what I'm talking about. And the same time, like I also like finished the master degrees because of the teaching certificate or something.
Right.
Because now in the United States you cannot teach until you have the master degree. I by the way, before the master degree, I teach in Phoenix College and I teach in
Right.
Art Institute. But
But you have to
master degree,
acquire.
yeah, master degree. When you have the paper, it's just like it's easier. It's easier to go anywhere. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
get paid
Yeah,
because
yeah,
we want to get paid, right?
yeah. Of course, of course. This one and second between Chicago and Phoenix. What the difference between Chicago and Phoenix? It's a huge difference. I will talk about the people first because the people is more important than anything for me. Uh, the people here is lovely, amazing, friendly, beautiful, everything, everything, everything.
In Phoenix,
In Phoenix,
yes.
in Phoenix, in Chicago, people are amazing people. Of course, the people are amazing everywhere. I am not judging the people, by the way, but I am just like I am having a problem with the people are not using their feeling to talk with the people, are just like is a shape of body talking with other shape of body, you know what I mean? And is not have any feeling. There is you know, like just going work, go back home. It's just like one direction, two direction, and done. It's not relax. It's not relax. People here is very relax and lovely. People in California, the same thing. People, I don't know, like I feel here, like these areas, it's much, it's much relaxing people than there. Like really, like there are like it's like if they don't like something, they will say it to you straight, you know, like very mean. Uh, and here we don't have that.
Yeah.
Phoenix didn't teach me that. Phoenix supposed to teach me that. They didn't teach me
Really
that.
funny as you're talking. So I grew up in Vermont, which is kind of like Phoenix, very, you know, we're nice to each other, right? But then I lived in Manhattan for 10 years, right? And I'm Italian. So when I came out here, I had to soften a little bit. And it wasn't that I was hard. It was just that I was living in New York City running around with my head cut off like a chicken, right? And I was
Yeah.
raised by a very strong Italian father. And so I would, they always say, like, tell the truth. All right. Well, sometimes you have to, like, you know, sometimes you have to, you know, deliver the truth a little more, I don't know, just rounded edges. You know what I mean? It's funny. My friend Najla is, it was just in an article. I just saw it on Facebook. She's in marketing for the mall industry. Like she works for Pacific Retail. And Najla is one of those people that you don't have to ever wonder what she's thinking. She's just going to tell you. You know, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I love being around Najla because she makes me look soft spoken. You know what I mean? Because she's going to tell you. But it is funny when you go back softened to go back to a city environment where people a little bit more. Chicago is very, you know, it's a city, very to the point, right? And such a sensitive, kind soul. It's got to be like awful to be, you know, in that space, right?
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. It's I feel it is heavy. Like when I come here, It's just I know everyone nice, amazing. You can see art, see beautiful sun, see, you know what I mean? It's just like lovely here.
Right. Yeah, it's awesome. Well, Bassim, we are a little bit over, and that's fine for me, but I want to be respectful of your time. So thank you so much for coming on Relentless Talk Radio and having a genuine conversation with me. I sincerely appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you in person soon. I know you're going back to Chicago soon, but the next time you come to Phoenix, let's make sure we have lunch, okay?
Of course. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful evening. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Thank you. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, that's it, everybody. That's the end of Relentless Talk Radio. So I wanted to give you a chance to see our screen with our sponsors one more time before I sign off. And, you know, what an amazing show. I am so grateful that I get to talk sincerely live with folks about what they're really doing, what they're passionate about. It's really awesome. And so our sponsors So that's it, everybody. It's a wrap. Episode 55 is behind us. And so I hope you have a really awesome day. And again, every Tuesday at 2:30, you can come back and hear another 3 conversations, me, a solo conversation, and one health and fitness person, and the other artist, entrepreneur, or fashion expert. Next week, I'll be coming on with several of my girlfriends. We started a mastermind group. And so it'll be a group conversation between 1 and 2 women for sure, potentially 3. And I don't know what the topic's going to be yet, but we'll let you know a couple of days before the show. So thanks again, everybody. Have a really awesome day. And that's it. Relentless Talk Radio signing out. Take care.